and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and today I'm working on the Blindsided Creations number 20, and this was submitted by Minute Craft, and it's a very interesting bracelet. If you watched the whole pattern making, we changed this dramatically, and we went from where it had like 4 different colors. We changed it down to essentially 3, like a background color and then 2 others. And then with that, I went a little bit crazy and made it variegated floss. So that's sort of interesting. It in the beginning, I had to switch over like 3 strands of the pink ones over to the left hand side and 3 strands of the gray ones to the right. So there's a little bit of a switch that goes on right there. And then it was a bit of a little challenge to kind of get it started. There's a lot of like little whatevers to kind of, because you saw, right, like it started a gray, then a pink, and then the rest gray, and then a whole row of pink, then a gray, a pink, and then a bunch of gray, but not quite to the end. So yeah, the beginning's a little rough. It's a little bit like that at the end, but you're at the end, so it's kind of a little bit easier, I guess. So yeah, it takes a second before the real segmenting and stuff really gets going. This one, if you remember, we also have little holes, like little tiny buttonholes where we don't, like right there, right? So those 2 strings, the pink and the gray, did not cross each other. They just dropped down. And so there's a little hole right there in the middle of that gray. And it makes it sort of perfect because I couldn't come up with a reasonable answer as to why it should be pink or gray because of the way that these things kind of bounce back and forth. It just doesn't, there wasn't a way. I couldn't do it. It just, yeah. And so this was like such a great solution. Like I'm really, not to toot my own horn. I mean, going into this, I didn't know what I was going to do with it because it just doesn't make sense. And so once I got to like nearing the end of the whole designing, that's when it kind of just dawned on me, why don't I try it? And yeah, I'm really pleased with that result. And so I keep looking at the bracelet. When you're looking at it, you don't see that something's missing. It does not appear to have the gaps because they're just small. It's just one knot out of it that's missing. And I mean, there's a bit of a shadow, so it kind of makes it look a little bit darker, but it's so subtle and it's so basically just perfect for the job. Oh, my mic just fell. I don't know if I can, how to fix that. I have a new mic stand, guys. It might need a screwdriver. I was busy watching how the video goes. So this pattern actually repeats itself a lot, right? So there is a bunch of repetitions. It didn't feel so bad. It probably took me about an hour and a half, right? But it didn't feel so bad, I suppose, because I was probably concentrating on the colors changing and how that goes. And kind of a bit excited about that. So, like I said, there are 2 variegated ones. And because there's the floss is doubled up, you'll see in some places like where this is coming down, where it looks like it's a bit like a more of a pink and a white than some of the other ones where it'll be just pink, or some of the other areas where it's very light pink. When the 2 strands aren't exactly doing the same thing, it kind of gets like a, I guess I would call it like a marble effect, I suppose. Like not marble like the ball, like marble like the tables, like, you know, where it's sort of randomly striped things going through it. Um, Overall, I would say this, well, it's still intermediate, but it's not a very difficult intermediate. It's once you kind of get the pattern going, the segmenting becomes very easy. Knowing that this gray goes down to the other gray, the way that it boxes in everything, they're like everything about it seems relatively simple. Um, it didn't use up any of the strings too much. There was no um, worries at the end of the day that I was going to have an issue um, with running out one strand. I'm sure that some of the strands were shorter than the others, but again, it didn't pose a problem. There was no threat, so that was nice. Um, Obviously, you could have done this with more colors. You could have done it like the original one where like they had all the different ones. I would still wonder if it would still be as fun to drop the holes in that just out of, you know, for the fun of it. Um, or you could do it in solids. Like honestly, if you don't have variegated floss, like this, I'm sure would have still looked really, really cool in solid colors as well. So if you want to just do it in a 3-color solid thing, that would be neat. Um, One of the things that I did kind of experience with this was because it's got that repetition or whatever, there was a bit of not knowing how far down I am with the whole thing, right? So like that sort of a uh, I mean, okay, once upon a time when I was making bracelets out at parks and for other people, I would just be doing this and then kind of gauging it, taking off the clip and looking at it and be like, okay, yeah, I need to probably do how many ever more kind of thing. Now that I have it kind of precisely measured, it's a bit different, and wanting to know exactly kind of where I am in that mix, that kind of changes some of the perspective of it. So kind of, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I just kind of followed the pattern. I just kept scooching it up because I had it on my computer while I was working and just kept kind of scooching it up as needed to see where the next area was. But again, it's kind of simple. It kind of, I didn't have to look at the pattern all the time. And I, when it comes to those, I really feel that those kind of go faster, if for no other reason, um, because you're not having to stop and look. Oh, so in the corners, well, in certain places, you will see that instead of typically when it's like an every other string, I will let the string go straight and let the other one come through. But because this was variegated and because that particular set of strands has that particular shade, I was changing the directions of strings, but particularly the ones in the corner. And, you know, in some other places, in order to try to keep the colors running smoothly and not having like a weird abrupt changes, because I think that kind of gives away something. I mean, the whole thing is it, I think it should just kind of gradually blend, and there should be some kind of a interesting look to it that that yeah, if you just let them change whenever, you can kind of lose some of that look. I'm not sure how to describe that, but hopefully hopefully some of that kind of makes sense. I am at least the halfway point. I think we've already passed it, which these videos end really abruptly. So I need to remember to thank my Patreon supporters as well as my YouTube members. You guys have no idea how much you guys really help me out a lot with this whole channel and having string to make cool stuff. I really, really thank you guys so very much. I I love this. I just recently was talking with somebody about that, and they were like, dude, how much money do you make on your hustle? I'm trying to figure out like ways that I can earn some money on the sides and stuff. And when I showed him how much I make from YouTube in general, he was just like, bless you, man. Like, holy cow. Like, because it's definitely not about the money. I don't make so much money that I'm like, woohoo, going vacations or whatever. It's not like that at all. Your guys' help is what's kept the channel going. The knowing that there's people out there who like the videos so much that you're willing to contribute something to it is a lot of my motivation. It's a lot of what's kept this channel alive. So thank you again, guys, very, very much. So again, I have no idea where we are on this bracelet. It could be done in a moment, or it may still have a ways to go. I'm not really, really sure. Oh yeah. I instead of grabbing 2 strings, it grabbed 3. And yeah, that was a thing. I was kind of maybe going too fast or just how I picked it up or whatever, but that was what that was picking out. It wasn't really a mistake. It was just a grab too many at once. But yeah, overall, I do really like this bracelet. It is very, very interesting. The variegated parts of it make it fun and different. And yeah, I think if you give this a try, I think you'll enjoy it. Again, the only bad thing could be is because there's so many different strands of variegated, and at the corner, like the little diamond points, that could get kind of messy if you have, especially if you have the variegated where it changes to many different colors. Like there are some that are like these, it's like a gray to white and a pink to white. So they're not really going crazy. But if you have one of the ones, it's like orange, red, and blue, and then like those can kind of get a little bit muddy and really kind of show up differently. So kind of use caution when you're picking out which ones to do, and you should be all right. I can't remember. So if you didn't know this, I make these during a live stream for my YouTube members, and for the life of me, I can't recall. I sometimes I like watch YouTube videos. Sometimes I watch like a Netflix or whatever, and sometimes it's maybe just listening to music. I really don't remember what this one was. Um, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, if you want to go back and you want to see this being made in real time and hear what I'm saying, become a member. It's easy. It's down next to the subscribe button. It says join. Become a member. It's $5 a month. Well, it's $5 Singapore, which I think that means it's $4 in America, something like that. So less than coffee. You can join. You can become a member. You can watch videos that won't come out for months because we have a bunch of ornament videos that are set for November. So that way they're kind of closer to the whole holiday season, right? So yeah, you want to see those, that's where they are. They're in the members section. I think we're getting near the end. It's weird. It's hard to actually tell with these things. I didn't even notice. Like you can kind of see that the board sort of bows with the pressure me pulling the knots tight because the clip at the top sort of has a bounce to it. I never notice that when I'm working. I'll probably notice it now all the time. I bet you I could fix that. Change where the clips are on the actual easel. Might actually make that less bouncy. Not that it hurts anything. It's just the way that the board is. Yeah, I suspect, judging by how this is going a little bit faster, two things. One, as I'm getting closer to the end, I get a little excited that I'm getting close to the end, so I kind of get a little faster. Second, the strings are shorter, so there's less pulling through, so that makes it a little bit faster. So double whammy towards the end, definitely faster. Yeah, I think that is the end. See how I've got like the one strings kind of way off to the side? So yeah, we are getting close to the end, guys. So thank you for hanging out with me. It's been fun. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully you've got a little bit of inspiration to try something. Let's face it, this is really different, guys. This is so unlike the original pattern with the little holes in it, the limited colors, the whole thing. So hopefully this has inspired you guys. You want to give it a shot. And that, yeah, I'd like to see it. Share it with me over on Discord or Instagram or something. That would be fun. And yeah, we're coming up for the big reveal. Yeah, this one kind of almost goes all the way straight, but then there's the little gray at the bottom. And yeah. All right, guys. Thanks again. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.